Welcome back, everyone. It's Around the Diamond time, and baseball postseason is upon us, and no Washington Nationals. Now, we're going to talk about baseball in a minute, but first, let's talk about your event, Donna.
You know, Marvin, it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month in October, and what we've done this year is I've teamed up with CrossFit of Laurel in my second annual Pink Ribbon Throwdown. So we want everybody to come on out there. We're going to have a health fair also, and it's October the 31st from 10 to 1. So, fitness is so important and everything, but we're throwing down for a cause. So all of these guys are coming out to help us celebrate breast cancer awareness because the cause is very important.
Yeah, all right. And I think, Jimmy, you're going to come out too, right? You and Lex.
I'm going to work it right in there.
Yeah,
it's very important.
Rev over there said he's going to come out.
Halloween, so I don't know.
But you know, you come out and work out first thing that morning, and then you can go trick or treat later.
Can I wear a costume? I'll be Billy Blanks.
Most definitely. He's one of my favorites.
Billy Blanks.
All right. Well, look, let's talk, before we even talk baseball, we didn't say who was going to win between Washington and Atlanta in football. This is a big game for Washington. If they can come out and win that game, it tells a lot about the rest of their season, right?
I think so. I mean, this is a team, Atlanta, that has pretty much dominated the first four games of the season. I mean, I think the story for me was when they came back in the second half and demolished Dallas.
Yeah.
I mean, it looked like Dallas was about to blow them out. Randall, I think, got 3 touchdowns in that game. And then all of a sudden, you see the Julio Jones show. Right. And that's what I worry about with the Redskins. Julio Jones, I mean, do we have anyone that can kind of stop him?
And an offensive coordinator.
Absolutely.
Kyle Shanahan
right?
is licking at the chops.
Yeah.
But I think that game is going to be tough overall for Washington, and controlling the clock is going to be key for them. Keeping that offense off the field, because you've got Leonard Hankerson used to be here. He led them the other week with 6 catches and 100 and some yards. Then you've got Roddy White, and then no one is saying anything about Freeman. This is their running back that is dangerous as far as running the ball and then coming out of the backfield as another receiver. So they've got to be able to, keep them off the field, because otherwise this team is averaging, 40-some points and so forth. And Washington is only averaging like 19.5 points. They've got to average a lot more than that. So I think that controlling the clock and running that ball is going to be key. And that secondary of the Redskins is beat up down there, a little nicked up.
So you guys pretty much think it's going to be an Atlanta victory, huh?
I would hate to say that, but unless the Redskins are playing at the top and they can pull some rabbit feet out it's going to be tough.
Well, they got to dominate. They dominated the time of possession a week ago against the Eagles. I mean, 40 minutes they held the ball. So, I mean, if they can dominate the time of possession and they can get that pressure that they got last week from the defensive line, Chris Baker, 2 sacks, the rest of those guys, if they can penetrate and really put pressure on Matt Ryan, it's possible. I mean, anything's possible.
Taking some of the pressure off of the secondary and everything, but they've got to be able to not come out in the second half. They've got to score a lot of points in that first half, and then they've got to make sure they come out in the second half and be just as aggressive as they were in the first half.
All right, well, let's switch over to baseball. And Jimmy, talk about this postseason. The Yankees have already lost, and it just seems like the Yankees now are not the team of old that played well in October, and especially Rodriguez. And talk a little bit about the Nats, their future, now that they've lost their manager.
Well, the Nats, we've had a high expectation for the Nats for the last 3 years, and I'm sure we're going to do the same thing next year. Matt Williams was manager of the year last year. I think the team kind of carried him. Sometimes, good players make good managers, and sometimes you have to manage and win. A manager can win a few games here and there, but in this situation, Matt Williams kind of lost the clubhouse and made some decisions not so well with the bullpen and some game time decisions. So that seems to be.
Who do we look for maybe to come in there and replace him?
Well, I'm hearing some names like Dusty Baker, Rod Gottenhauer, and Bud Black. And even heard some names like Francona and Socia from the Angels, because they have contracts that say if the general managers leave, they can leave. And I think that's already happened. So, and one of those managers, Dusty has like almost 1,700 wins, and Gottenhauer has like 1,000 and 50 or 60. And Bud Black has a losing record, but he's a pitcher, so that might help the Nats there when working that pitching staff.
So
Bud Black.
who do you see in the World Series this
Who
year?
do I see in the World?
The Dodgers.
Well, Dodgers are one of my favorite teams, and I'm going with the Dodgers because of a lot of factors. I mean, I like their big two, Greinke and Kershaw, but I also like those bats with Ethier and Puig, Gonzalez, and you got Crawford. I mean, and we got two of the most disappointing players are on the Dodgers, in Utley and Rollins. And that might be some experience that might help the Dodgers right there, even though Seager may be the shortstop for the Dodgers.
And you like Toronto going up against
and
them.
I love Toronto, and we got Price, and Price got to get started. He's got to get him over the hump in that first game, I believe. They say in the playoffs, good pitching stops good hitting.
Right.
And this might be the case here, but I'm going with the big bats of Toronto and Tulowitzki coming back. So I'm thinking it's going to be the Dodgers.
You
and
guys
Toronto.
agree? What do you think?
I got Houston. And
You got Houston?
I'm going Houston. I think Houston's going to win, and I'm going with the pitching. I go with the Mets.
You gonna go with the
I'm
Mets?
a Dodger fan, so I'm with Jimmy right there. I'm going. I don't care what anybody else is doing. I'm going with the Dodgers.
Let me say this
Well,
now.
I'm going to go with this team that's been so consistent over the last few years, the Cardinals.
The
So
Cardinals.
I'm different from everybody
Yeah, right.
here.
And the Cardinals. Now, it was a vote early in the season with the players on who's going to win the World Series. And the players couldn't even get it right because they picked the Nationals, Seattle, and the Angels to be in the World Series, and they're all gone. So that's how hard this thing is to do.
All right, well, maybe next year for the Nationals, maybe we can get Dusty Baker in here and win some of those games.
Yeah, we just got to stay away from those injuries and,
yeah.
and those bonehead decisions,
All right. All right, well, our time is up. You see how fast it goes, guys. Thanks to all my guests for your expertise. First Lady, Donna Hopkins, the Bulldog, Lex Taylor, and Billy D, Jimmy Williams. I got nicknames for everybody, man. It was fun as always. Go out and support the Bowie State Bulldogs at their homecoming this weekend against the 4-1 Chowan University. It will be the best college football you'll see in this area on Saturday. I'm Marvin Jackson. Take care, folks, and we'll see you next time on the sideline.